Tila wala nang ang kawala ngayon sina Congressman Abante at Congressman Fernandez. Ito nga ay matapos na mabulgar mismo sa Senate hearing na kasabwat ang mga ito sa EJK noong Duterte administration. Ayon kasi sa ilang testigo at sa inilabas nilang ebidensya, malinaw na tumatanggap din ang mga ito ng umano'y EJK reward money mula sa dating presidente na si Rodrigo Duterte. Tila ito na nga daw ang umpisa ng pagbagsak nina Abante at Fernandez. Umasa nga daw ang mga ito na wala nang maniniwala sa kanila dahil sa mga kasinungalingan nilang dalawa. Narito panoorin ang video kung paano pilit lumulusot sina Fernandez at Abante.
Andun po ako sa Davao noong 2000, wala pa ho ako dyan during that time. So, yun lang po yung mga sitwasyon na nasabi ko sa kanya about dun sa supplemental affidavit. Actually, Mr. Chairman, sa una pa lang nararamdaman ko na hindi niya po i-confirm yung mga sinabi ni Colonel Garma. Actually, hindi ko na pinursue. Basically po, yung usapan, parang naging light na lang po yung moment ng usapan. At magmamanifest po yun, yung light moment na usapan namin. Because nung lumabas po siya, masaya siya. And we can even show yung CCTV na hawak po natin ngayon, na makikita natin that wala po sa facial expression niya na he was harassed.
Comsec, yung sinasabi ni Honorable Fernandez na video clip,
Comsec floor, do you have a video?
Oh, yan.
Colonel Grijaldo enters the holding room. At 7:17:59 p.m., Attorney Emericio Quilang enters. At 7:18:11 p.m., Attorney Rotsiv Comigad enters. At 7:19 p.m., Congressman Dan Fernandez enters. At 7:20:35 p.m., Congressman Benny Abante enters. At 7:35:35 p.m., Congressman Dan Fernandez and Benny Abante leave the holding room. At 7:36:14 p.m., Colonel Grijaldo exits with Attorney Quilang and Attorney Comigad. At 7:36:25 p.m., Colonel Grijaldo, all smiles, is seen conversing with Jimmy Fortaleza.
Yun pong kay Honorable Abante naman, paragraph 14 of the affidavit. Kong Abante asked me how many years do I still have with the PNP. I answered I still have 4 years before retirement. Then he made the remark, pwede ka pang maging general. I humbly responded to him, masaya na ako sa ranggo ko, sir. Pagkatapos nito, uuwi na lang ako at magtatanim na lang ako ng kamote sa amin.
Mr. Chair, I cannot recall, no? Pero kung yan man, nasabi ko, ako ba'y, meron ba akong karapatan na i-promote siya? Sapagkat sinabi niya ron, gusto ko siyang ipapromote. Anong karapatan ko para i-promote siya? Para lang siya magsabi ng gusto kong sabihin niya. Masyado namang akusasyon yan na kahit kailan, hindi ko ginawa kahit kanino.
Thank you, Honorable Abante. Paragraph 15. The cordial conversation between us continued. So, walang animosity. Would you agree with that, Your Honors? Na cordial yung conversation niyo?
Well, actually, Mr. Chairman, di mo pa binabanggit yan. Kanina sinabi ko nga, after na tinanong na namin yung mga ilang provision dun sa paragraph niya, na alam ko na hindi naman tayo makakakuha ng magandang resulta dun sa confirmation ng betting, sabi ko nga, naging light na lang yung usapan. Hindi ko na alam kung ano mga napag-usapan. At, but after that, umalis na ako. Tapos, sumunod na si Congressman Benny.
Pero dinagdag niya. Sa kanya.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, tama. Tama ho. Tama yung sinabi ni Chairman Dan na very cordial. Very light ang usapan namin. Para nabibiroan pa kami dun eh. Nabanggit niya na siya magtatanim ng kamote. Hindi ba biro yun? Yung ba totoo ba yun na magtatanim talaga siya ng kamote pagkatapos na mag-retire?
Saka, in all due respect, Mr. Chair, if I may, Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to speak? Kasi, alam niyo po, napakasama naman po ng magiging aksyon namin if we have done something like that without the prior approval of the members of the the chairman of the Quadcom, never na ginawa po ng bawat isa sa atin yan na meron po tayong gagawing betting ay hindi nalalaman po ng ating pong mga kasamahan. And yung pong, most especially, kung yung pong coercion at harassment, na kung gagawin po namin ay mapuput into jeopardy, lahat ng ginawa po ng Quadcom. And hindi naman po kami ganun kabobo para gawin yung bagay na yon na alam namin na magkakaroon ng bad repercussion kung sakali na hindi mag-a-agree po si Colonel Grijaldo. And well, ako kasi medyo, basically, nasaktan po ako doon kasi nga, I was expecting that Colonel Garma, through sa mga lawyers niya, na binanggit na hindi, si Colonel Grijaldo was my parang kasakasamahan na niya before. And they were very close. And yung expectation mo na sasabihin niya doon, na kino-confirm niya, then suddenly, nawala. Kaya po ako medyo na-disappoint during that time. But of course, kasama yun, marami na tayong ganyang kausap na talagang afterwards, hindi naman talaga na-confirm. But, yun na nga, nagpapasalamat po ako sa committee na to na nabigyan po tayo ng pagkakataon para liwanagin tong issue na talagang nahirapan po tayo dahil sa hindi po pag-attend ni Colonel Grijaldo.
Mr. Chair, sa totoo lang, kung siya nasaktan, si Congressman Dan Fernandez, ako naman na-offend. Sapagkat sa rotohan na lang, nasa mukha ba namin na magko-coerce? Nasa mukha niya. Nasa mukha ba ni Congressman Fernandez na mag-coerce? Ako, nasa mukha ko ba mag-coerce? Tignan niyo nga po yung mukha niya. O, compare po sa mukha namin.
And the next statement is that I felt that they wanted to convince me to do what they wanted me to do. So, it was the feeling of Colonel Grijaldo na kinukumbinsi niyo siya na gawin yung gusto niyong ipagawa. That was his feeling. The intention may not be that. Hindi po ba tama, Colonel Grijaldo? I-invoke mo na naman yung right mo. Tama ba yung state mo? I felt that they wanted to convince me to do what they wanted me to do.
I stand by my statement, Your Honor.
Sagutin mo yung tanong ko.
I would like to invoke my right.
Mr. Chair.
Your Honor.
May I move that we cite Colonel Grijaldo in contempt for violation of Section 11, Paragraph C, refusal to answer relevant questions. So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
There is a motion to cite in contempt Colonel Grijaldo for violating Section 11, Paragraph C of our Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation, and it was duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved. You are again cited in contempt.
Mr. Chairman,
Is Congressman Acop done with this interpellation?
Mr. Chair, my motion needs another motion from any member of this committee because we have to determine where or what is the duration of his penalty and where he would be incarcerated. Mr. Chair.
Is there any motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Congressman Paduano.
while the rules of the House now with regards to Section 11, citing a resource person in contempt, the detention, no? The place of detention lies with of course, the chairman of this honorable committee. May I respectfully move, Mr. Chairman, that we will transfer, in this contempt order, I move that we will detain Colonel Grijaldo at para malapit-lapit lang sa batasan at Station 6. Mr. Chairman. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Are you referring to Station 6 of the
Quezon City, Mr. Chairman. Dito lang yan sa batasan eh.
Okay,
So move, Mr. Chairman.
there is a motion to detain, transfer the detention of Colonel Grijaldo to Station 6 of the Quezon City Police Station. Are there any second? Duly seconded. Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Comsec, please coordinate with our Sergeant at Arms and inform the said office that Colonel Grijaldo will be transferred to Station 6 of Quezon City and serve his detention in that facility.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Akop,
since I cannot get intelligent answers from our resource person, may I just make a manifestation? The reason why I asked Attorney Conti about the canons of legal ethics, that we have in our possession a joint statement from the law office of Attorney Emerito B. Kilang from the Kumigad law offices. And in this joint statement of the two lawyers, they debunk all the claims of Colonel Grijaldo. And lawyers are supposed to observe the canons of legal ethics, as I have stated in my interpellation of Attorney Conti. And that is the reason why I asked Attorney Conti about the canons of legal ethics. So, it is the word of Colonel Grijaldo alone versus the words of two honorable congressmen and attested to by two lawyers, the lawyers of one of our resource persons, Attorney Garma. The other manifestation I want to make, Mr. Chair, is that in 4 instances where we invited Colonel Grijaldo, he has refused to attend. Ang timing po niya ng pagka-confine niya, every time na meron tayong hearing, if you look at the calendar of events. Kaya sinasadya niya na magpa-confine para hindi siya maka-attend ng hearing. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
thank you, Congressman Akop.
may
Yes,
may I also make just a short manifestation as to avoid the public that because I get this impression, Mr. Chair, that our resource person, Colonel Grijaldo, wants to, at least impress upon the public that we are cornering him, that we are gagging up on him. Just want to make a manifestation, Mr. Chair, that earlier, Chairman Akop asked him, or the chairman himself asked him if he needs a lawyer so we can provide one. Because he's been invoking his right against self-incrimination, and we understand that. That's a constitutionally guaranteed right. And we do not want to push or to even force anybody, especially if it's our guests and our resource persons, to say something that would incriminate him, that would be used against him at the court of law. He was asked what's the basis of him invoking that right, when in fact the question of Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez was merely on an affirmation that the affidavit he gave during the Senate investigation was really true, because he was reading on the affidavit and he was quoting word by word the exact affidavit, an exact portion of the affidavit given by Colonel Grijaldo to the Senate hearing. And that was merely a confirmation from him. In fact, when he answered and replied to DS.J.J. Suarez earlier, his response is very much in conflict with the answer in itself. No? Sabi niya, I would stand by my affirmation, I confirm my affidavit, which DS.J.J. was reading, and yet he says he invoked his right against self-incrimination. So he confirmed it, and yet he do not want to confirm it at the same time. So it's a conflict, no? Mismo sa sagot niya. That's the reason why Chairman Akop asked him, what's the legal basis? What's his legal basis for invoking this right against self-incrimination? And being a non-lawyer himself, the chairman was lenient to even ask him, would you want a lawyer? We can provide you. Ang sabi po niya, hindi na niya kailangan. I just want to make this manifestation so that this cannot be twisted online. Because I'm sure there are ready trolls, paid trolls, who will twist this scenario here. Ang gagamitin naman nila sa atin ay ginagang up natin ang ating mga resource person. We have given him all the legal course in order to protect him and ask him kung kailangan niya ng legal advice. And he admittedly responded na hindi. Having said that, Mr. Chair, I have one quick question that I'd like to ask Attorney Conti. Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Go
you. Attorney Conti, have you been in courts, no? I'm seeing may litigation, no? And you also present evidences. Minsan yung mga testimonies, ng mga affidavits, minsan in a manner of text message or mga video clips, no? Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Video clips, text messages will be
Yes.
considered as electronic evidence.
Yes, okay. Earlier, you watched the video clip kanina when Congressman, the Chairman Dan Fernandez and Chairman Benny Abante entered the room where Colonel Grijaldo was already inside, no? Nakita nyo naman po, no? Yung video kanina. Yes. And after a few minutes, they exited the same room. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor, I
Yes.
saw that.
As a lawyer, based on your experiences in trial courts, no? Assuming that this is an evidence, and I presume this is an evidence, Mr. Chair, to prove that the two gentlemen here were telling us the truth and nothing but the truth, as opposed to the affidavit of Colonel Grijaldo. In your professional experience, having having seen all the evidences in the context nung halimbawa itong pinakita as opposed to the affidavit ni Colonel Grijaldo, would you say that it's a normal reaction of someone who was forced to lie to come out with all smiles, magandang disposition, at nakipaghawakan pa sa former colleague niya? Is it normal for a behavior of a person, individual, who are let's assume na tama yung sinasabi niya, totoo, assuming without conceding that he was forced by two influential, because kung titingnan niyo, the two gentlemen outranked him in position. Court, kumbaga, kung sa basketball, ito, advantage na, court advantage nilang dalawa, nasa kwarto, sasabihin na itong gawin mo, magsinungaling ka, etc. based on his affidavit. Would that be a normal reaction of a person who was forced to say something, to lie before his teeth na magsabi na dapat ito ang gusto naming sabihin mo at alam niyang mali at hindi tama at kasinungalingan? Doon sa nakita mo, from your professional experience, would that be a normal reaction of someone who was forced to lie?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, first, I cannot or I should not appreciate that as a lawyer. I should appreciate it as a normal human being. Your Honor, that kind of appreciation of, is this consistent with human experience? It would not be consistent with human experience to see someone coerced leave a room without any restraints at sasabihin na hindi siya na pinilit siya sa loob ng kwarto. So it would be inconsistent with what we have seen. And Your Honor, this kind of evidence will only prove that, however, on the other hand, that these gentlemen went into the room, left the room at these times, and the last person to leave the room was Colonel Grijaldo without anyone keeping him in detention. So yung, kumbaga, ang maiisip po kasi ng karamihan, yung parang restraint is parang inaresto ka. His freedom to leave the room without any pressure or even without the presence of the two others. I think the two lawyers were still inside the room. We did not see that in the video. It would say that Colonel Grijaldo was not under arrest. To an extent, as a human being, I would say he was not under duress.
Thank you for that response, Attorney Conti. In fact, Mr. Chair, the responses and the explanation of the two gentlemen, the two chairmen, was actually believable because based on sa mga responses niya, wala naman, it was plainly evident, paglabas nila, it At it reinforces yung mga sinasabing, yung atmosphere doon sa kwarto ay hindi naman ganun intense, no? Kasi nung lumabas sila, hindi naman for few minutes, so parang ordinary day lang. As opposed to Colonel Grijaldo, who was, I suspect, parang masyado siyang, sabi niya, may reflection pa nga eh, nag-quote pa nga siya ng Biblia. And he even went to the Senate to testify before the whole country watching that he was forced to say something and to lie. Ganon yung impact nung sinasabi niyang coercion na ginawa ng gentleman. And yet, when we look at the video, watch the video, it seems as an average-minded person, hindi po normal na behavior ang isang tao na he was forced to lie, he was coerced, under duress, tas lalabang with all smiles at nakangiti. Sir Chair. Yun lang. I'd like just to make that manifestation because again, I don't want to impress upon the public because there's an attempt really by this research person na i-twist itong nangyayari sa atin tapos may mga paid trolls na naman na ready to debunk all the truthfulness of whatever we have gathered here in this committee hearing. Tapos ito-twist nila that we are ganging up on him, Mr. Chair.
Well, if I may just comment on that manifestation. Yes, correct. We expect that there will be trolls again prying on this particular hearing. This resource person has this penchant for playing victim. No? Yan ang yung laging biktima siya eh. But ang katotohanan, ang video ay hindi po nagsisinungaling. No? Kung ikaw ay talagang may paninindigan at gusto mong tayuan ang sinabi mong katotohanan, hindi ganyan ang iyong demeanor. So that is my observation, Your Honors. In fact, darating ang panahon na mag-iisip ka rin eh. Iisipin mo rin na hindi mo na makakayang itago yung iyong konsensya doon sa iyong pagsisinungaling. Now, just to add a little spice in this issue, please allow me to show in this video, just a short video lang, Your Honors, on the video of Colonel Grijaldo appearing before the Senate hearing and try to observe his demeanor. And tingnan natin no, kung ano yung para lang po meron tayong point of comparison. So, Comsec, can we play the video? And Colonel Grijaldo, can you watch the video and see for yourself kung ano yung mo dyan, yung demeanor dyan?
Mr. Chairman, while waiting for the video,
Yes.
can I just to amend the my motion previously, Mr. Chairman, that I move once again that Colonel Grijaldo will be detained at Quezon City Station 6 until the committee report will be, in this investigation, will be adopted in the plenary, Mr. Chairman. So move.
Okay, there is a motion amending the previous approved ruling of the chair. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion amending the previous ruling of the chair is approved. So, just please play the video.
Third level officer, presently assigned a personal holding administrative unit, Camp Crame, Quezon City. After duly sworn to, under oath and in accordance with law, do hereby depose and states that I, together with other invited PNP personnel, attended joint hearing in the House of Representatives. After I answered questions related to extrajudicial killings, Kong Dan Fernandez entered the room and he asked me to sit beside him, and then Kong Abante entered the room. One of the lawyers of Police Karma stood near at my back. Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito. While pointing on the paragraph on the paper, ito ang supplemental affidavit ni Colonel Garma. Sabihin mo, alam mo ang reward system. I-confirm mo lang. Kong Dan told me to read the said affidavit. However, I asked the copy of affidavit he was showing to me to read it. He did not give it to me. Then Kong Abante asked me where I serve as a chief of police, to which I answered, Mandaluyong City Police Station. Kong Abante then persuaded me by saying, ikaw naman, Colonel, ganito na lang, alangan namang walang insidente o pangyayari sa panahon na yon. I answered, and I served as a COP in Mandaluyong during the COVID-19 pandemic, and there were less crime committed, and we did not receive any reward from anyone.
Okay, salamat. So, in my observation of the video that we just showed, shows that a police officer looking like a debonair in his uniform with his rank, lying to his teeth. Yun ang aking observation dun eh. And he delivered the statement with full of bragadasyo, so to speak. So, parang ngayon, parang nawala yung asim nung pagbibigay mo ng statement dun sa Senado, Colonel. Then, you keep on invoking your right against self-incrimination, which is a manifestation of hiding from the truth. Yun lang ang aking gustong idagdag dun sa manifestation. So, we now recognize Congressman...
Very short, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Congressman Paduano, and then Congresswoman Luistro, and then Congressman Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for procedural, I just like once again to inform Colonel Grijaldo that you have all the right now to file a motion for reconsideration the day after this hearing. But I do not believe that you will file because in the first contempt order from this committee to you, you file a certiorari in the Supreme Court. Tama po? But still, baka sabihin mo, question of due process, hindi ka namin binibigyan ng due process dito. That's why I reminded you about your right to file a motion for reconsideration tomorrow in this committee. Now, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to put on record and to point out the statement, the manifestation from Chairman Acop a while ago with regards to the joint statement of the two lawyers that was present during the incident in which Chairman Abante and Chairman Dan Fernandez was present during that meeting with Colonel Grijaldo. Malinaw po dito, Mr. Chairman, na sinasabi nila na hindi totoo yung pinagsasabi ni Colonel Grijaldo doon sa Senado. And let me quote, Mr. Chairman, just the two paragraphs, no? Kasi 5 paragraphs, no? Just the 2 paragraphs, no? To quote, Mr. Chairman, we would like to shed light on the nature of the interactions we observed. The discussions were focused on ensuring clarity and understanding of Colonel Garma's affidavit, particularly regarding any knowledge of Colonel Grijaldo might have about the reward system mentioned in it. At no point did any of the congressman attempt to pressure Mr. Grijaldo into conforming to a predetermined narrative. Throughout the meeting, we can affirm that we did not witness any form of coercion. Again, to repeat, throughout the meeting, we can affirm that we did not witness any form of coercion or undue influence directed toward Mr. Grijaldo. The discussions taking place were cordial and respectful. Congressman Dan Fernandez and Congressman Abante engaged in a dialogue that was both professional and focused on the matter at hand. At no point did we see or hear any actions or statements that could be interpreted as pressuring Mr. Grijaldo to conform to a specific narrative. Yun po on record, Mr. Chairman, the joint statement that was signed by the counsel of former Colonel Rowena Garma, Attorney Emerito Kilang, and Attorney Rotsib Kumikad, Mr. Chairman. So ito po, nagpapatoo na nagsinungaling si Colonel Grijaldo doon sa Senado. Now, second, Mr. Chairman, I would like to point out, makita po sa CCTV kanina, na paglabas, nakangiti pa. Well, in fact, alam niyo ba, ang kinamayan niya, outside of that room, was his classmate. Miss Tanya po. And supposedly, kung inipit siya, pressure siya, ang the first person that he approached outside of that room, kaklase niya, yung Miss Tanya. Class 97, in the person of Jimmy Fortaleza. Kitang-kita niyo po, nakakamay pa. Nakasmile pa. Nag-uusap pa sila ni Jimmy Fortaleza, former Major Jimmy Fortaleza. Now, again, Mr. Chairman, naawa lang ako dito kay Colonel Grijaldo because he keep on imposing or invoking his right to self-incrimination. You're a graduate of PNP Class 97. Hindi mo palang napagandaan kung alin doon ang pwede mong invoke at hindi invoke nung tinanong ka Chairman Akop, hindi mo masagot. Any specific basis or laws or articles or section. And now, I would like to remind and educate you, Colonel Grijaldo. Under Article 3, Section 17 on our 1987 Constitution, tama po, no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. That's self-incrimination. But I will cite jurisprudence that you cannot use is in your case. Mr. Grijaldo, Supreme Court ruling with regards to Arnold versus Nazareno. Allow me to read, Mr. Chairman, portion of that. The fact that the testimony of a witness may tend to show that he has violated the law is not sufficient. Is not sufficient to entitle him to claim the protection of the constitutional provision against self-incrimination, unless he is at the same time liable to prosecution and punishment for such violation. No case has been filed against you, Colonel Grijaldo. That's why in that Arnold versus Nazareno, you cannot invoke such provision of the Constitution, Mr. Grijaldo. Our second, jurisprudence. Rosette versus Lim. The privilege against self-incrimination can be claimed. You can claim it only when specific question, incriminatory in character, is actually addressed to the witness. It cannot be claimed at any other time. You cannot claim it unless, sabi nga doon sa Arnold at Nazareno, unless may pending case po or punishment for such violation. Tinanong ka pa kanina, if you want to have a lawyer, ayaw mo, o di. And I hope, Colonel Grijaldo, after this hearing, you ask your counsel, and I do believe that you will file again a certiorari in the Supreme Court, and that's your right. And let us see what will be the position of the Supreme Court with regards to your pleading. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. Congresswoman Luis, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, my manifestation were covered already by Chairman Carap, so I yield to the Honorable Kit Flores.
Thank you, Congresswoman Luis Roque. Congressman Flores, you now have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I would like to address some of my questions to our colleagues who are now resource persons. No? I wish I could have addressed it to Colonel Grijaldo. No? I always wish that he would be answering the questions as emphatically as he was making that statement in the Senate, but now he's invoking his right against self-incrimination. Now, Congressman Abante, if your intention was to coerce Colonel Grijaldo would you have had that meeting with Colonel Grijaldo with other persons present?
If my intention was to
Yes,
coerce,
if your intention was to coerce.
I don't think that we can pursue the meeting because the meeting is supposed to ask him if he would corroborate the statement of Colonel Garma, as Colonel Garma said.
Yeah, but the question asks for a yes or no, sir. Would you have held that meeting with the lawyers of Attorney Colonel Garma present in the same room if your intention was to coerce Colonel Grijaldo?
With the lawyers
Yes.
there? Well, I don't think so.
Yes. Now, if your intention was also to offer him a promotion, would you have held that meeting also with other people present, like the lawyers of Colonel Garma?
Oh,
So that was not the intention of the meeting, right? Correct?
no, it's not.
How about you, Congressman Dan?
Siyempre naman, kung plano natin na hindi natin makuha yung sagot and we wanted to coerce and harass and i-force yung ating issues sa kanya, of course, ang gagawin ko, di kami na lang tatlo. Di ba? Wala nang lawyers. Siya na lang, ako, saka si Abante. Kumukuha ka pa ng witness para sa gagawin mong kasalanan.
A lawyer who does not represent the House,
Yeah.
does not represent the committee,
Yes,
does not
of course.
represent any of the parties present, correct?
Exactly. At the same time, kung mga haras ako, hindi dito. Dadalhin ko siya sa opisina ko. Baka sakali, doon ko pwede ko siyang i-haras. And one more thing, yung sinasabi niya na promotion, ako hindi ko nadinig yun, na in-offer ni Congressman Abante. If ever na in-offer yon, hindi naman siya tanga. Para malaman niya na ang congressman, hindi naman tayo nakakapag-promote. Di ba? Presidente lamang or chief of PNP. Like for example, siya, colonel siya, under yan ang chief PNP. At kung general yan, doon siya dadaan sa CA. Hindi naman siya dadaan sa Congress di ba? So, basically, medyo may mali sa mga ginawa talaga niya.
Yeah, I ask those questions, Kong, because, I also take offense to the fact na parang the entire committee was parang put in bad light by the statements of Colonel Grijaldo. And I was hoping that he would be at least man enough to answer the questions now.
And we wanted to apologize also sa committee because of what we did, and we wanted to ferret out the truth and to have that the betting process to be conducted. Nadamay po yung buong committee. During that time that we were accused by Colonel Grijaldo, I was hurt not because of myself alone. Dahil nga nadama yung ibang chairman at nadama yung buong committee.
Actually, that was going to be my next question. My next question would be, do you think that it was inappropriate for you to approach Colonel Grijaldo without other persons present representing Colonel Grijaldo?
Colonel Grijaldo?
Yes.
Well, to tell you honestly, Mr. Chairman, as what I've said a while ago, na-meet na namin si Colonel Grijaldo together with Colonel Garma. And we were like together for almost how many hours din na nag-uusap-usap. And kumbaga, kampante ka na rin sa kanya. And that's the reason why nung sinabi ni Attorney Victor na si Colonel Grijaldo ang makakapagpatunay ng lahat ng sinabi niya sa affidavit, confident kami. Ako, confident ako. Kasi si Benny, hindi pa siya confident kasi hindi pa na namimit si Colonel Garma saka si Colonel Grijaldo. But ako, na-meet ko na. Saka si Chairman Ace. And that's the reason why nung sinabi niyang ganon, I was a little bit disappointed kasi all along, akala ko talagang magkaibigan sila ni Colonel Garma.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, ako medyo naging confident na lang ako when I saw the lawyers of Colonel Garma. Hindi naman namin abogado yun Naging confident na ako sapagkat inaakala ko that the lawyers of Colonel Garma would also become his lawyers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, can I ask some questions to Director General Villanueva? Sir, my questions, I know we've been through this before, itong sa Dumoy raid, but I just have some clarificatory questions lang po para matapos na po itong issue on with regards to you po. Now, Director General, yung operations niyo sa Dumoy, I know it was 20 years ago, sir, no? Diba? But if you can recall, was it a joint operation with the PNP or just PIDEA alone?
It was a joint operation between PIDEA 11, HSOT, PACER in the PNP and Intelligence Division of Police Regional Office 11.
So,
malaki
several
talaga to,
agencies
sir.
pa.
Malaki to.
Now, in operations with other agencies po, is there a requirement that you are all required to submit a report?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In this particular case, in the Dumoy raid in 2004 ba? 2004? 2005?
2004, December 31,
31.
2004.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Was there a report made on this raid, sir?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Do you have a copy of that report po?
Unfortunately, Mr. Chair, because that was the start of transition between PNP and PIDEA. So talagang I submitted to the national headquarters all reports, spot report, progress report, and then other spot reports on the operation against other warehouses, including the case folder of all all people that where we filed the case in court, Mr. Chair. Kompleto po yun, Mr. Chair.
Particular itong Dumoy.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, Director General Lasso is not here, but the representatives of PIDEA are present. Sir, do you have a copy of that report?
We have only the spot report, Mr. Chair.
Only the spot report?
Yes, sir.
Has that been submitted to the committee, sir? Wala pa?
I think not yet, sir. But we are willing to submit this, sir.
Can you please submit one to the committee secretary, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, Director General Villanueva, you testified earlier that before the raid, parang you had like 3 months na surveillance sa kay Alan C., correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Alan C. and yung isa pang place
Alex Kim and other personalities like Jed Pilapil and John Pilapil, Mr. Chair.
Jed Pilapil C. is the wife, correct?
Yes, Mr.
So
Chair.
you included her in the surveillance because she was the wife of Alan C.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You also had surveillance conducted dun sa other place na sinurrender din, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano ngayon? Anong tawag dun sa place na yun?
In Agdao, where thousands of CPEX, controlled precursors and essential chemicals, were found, and also at Bunawan, where the foam factory owned by Alan C., where Jong Pilapil and Alex Kim is working in the Bunawan Polytex, the foam factory.
Yeah.
Yes,
I remember
Mr.
that,
Chair.
sir. Kasi we were, I think, part of when we met, we turning over that facility pa.
Yes, Mr.
Now,
Chair.
you conducted surveillance on the foam factory because it was one of the businesses of Alan C.
We conducted surveillance because we were already tailing Alex Kim. And Alex Kim was frequenting on that Polytex foam factory, Mr. Chair.
So, sinusundan niyo lang?
Talaga sinusundan. Meron na talagang team na naka-assign kila Alex Kim, Jed Pilapil, Jong Pilapil, and Alan C., Mr. Chair.
And if I remember it correctly, parang sa wall na to, sa foam factory na to, may parang treehouse dun eh. Parang doon ata naka-station yung mga ahente nyo ata or something.
Yes, Mr. Chair, may kwento po doon. October 31, and then November 1 kinabukasan. Yung kinakandakan namin ng survey ng casing, sementeryo yon, Mr. Chair. So talagang doon talaga nakatambay yung mga tao. There were times na pinaglilinis pa sila, sir, ng pansyon ng ibang tao dahil they thought na trabahante yung mga tao. So it was during that time that we were able to get footages, videotape of Alex Kim and Jong Pilapil in the foam factory.
Jong Pilapil is the brother of Jed C.
Jed Pilapil,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
And they were included in the surveillance technically because they were part of the circle of Alan C., correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, meaning Alan C. was related to Jed Pilapil. Jed Pilapil was frequenting the same business of Alan C. And who's the other guy? Kim?
Alex Kim.
What is his role in this?
Alex Kim is the operator. Actually, siya talaga yung main chemist doon sa laboratory, Mr. Chair.
Okay, being the chemist, what was he doing in the foam factory, if you know?
Mr. Chair, kasi hindi, during that time, umabot lang doon siya doon sa foam factory, but we still don't have any pieces of evidence na merong anomalya doon sa foam factory. Until when we raided through a search warrant doon sa Bunawan foam factory, that we were able to find a air scrubber.
I remember.
And that air scrubber is for industrial use of manufacture of for the clandestine laboratory operation, manufacture of methamphetamine, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, in the raid sa Dumoy mismo, di ba there were 6 Chinese that were killed?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because from your statement in the previous hearings, you said na they fought back, no?
Yes,
Some were
Mr.
armed, some were not armed, but in a drug state daw, sabi mo, he was fighting with one of your
Mr.
agents,
Chair.
correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, were there only 6 persons there in that Dumoy factory?
Maraming tao doon na naglalabas-pasok, but during the time na nagkanda kami ng raid, anim lang yung taong naandun, Mr. Chair. And all of them were doon sa laboratory mismo, doing their own thing in the
different areas, di ba? Of the
yes,
factory.
in the laboratory itself.
I'm asking this, DG, because of the affidavit of, I think, Las Cañas ba yun? That there were 11 other persons who were arrested in that Dumoy factory. What is your comment to that po?
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, hindi ko nga alam paano pumasok sa kwento to si Las Cañas eh. Kasi, Mr. Chair, hindi ko nakita yung mukha niya eh. Ever since.
But wasn't his unit part of the...
No, Mr. Chair.
Hindi naman.
Hindi ko nakita ang pagmumukha niya si Las Cañas and I don't know him. Hindi ko nga alam kung paano siya pumasok sa kwento.
Now,
Yun, Mr. Chair.
okay, now, in his affidavit kasi, he mentioned na there were 11 other people that were turned over to him ata or something for parang liquidation or something like that. No, and you said that there were no other persons there.
No idea, Mr. Chair.
There were only 6 that were killed.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And there were no other persons arrested or
None in the laboratory, Mr.
none
Chair.
in the laboratory.
Yes.
Now, another question is this. What happened to Alan C?
He was not there.
He was not there.
During the time of the raid, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
he was not there.
Was he also in Bunawan?
We don't know.
You don't know.
Because our focus is in the laboratory. That's why immediately after after all the inventories conducted, we proceeded immediately dun sa Arlene apartment. That is
Where
why
he was residing.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yun nga yung statement ni Jed Pilapil na hinahanap namin doon si Alan C.
Okay. Now, so, raid kayo ng Dumoy, 6 patay. Raid kayo doon sa Bunawan, you found the air scrubbers and arrested other people. After that, do you know what happened to Alan C?
We conducted manhunt on him, Mr. Chair, including Johnson Chua. Kasi we believe that Johnson Chua is the one really in charge of yung financing and logistics of that laboratory.
Okay.
Hindi namin, we believe na nakalabas na sa Pilipinas, Mr. Chair.
Sa memory mo, sir, how long did you look for Alan C?
Habang naandun ako sa, because I was assigned in Davao City from 1995 until 2007, Mr. Chair. Until I left Davao City, we were looking for Johnson Chua and Alan C.
Yeah, pero where did this search for Alan C lead you? Wala.
Yun nga, sir. We conducted manhunt on him, pero negative, futile, Mr. Chair.
So, the reports, the insinuations that Alan C was also killed summarily, walang katotohanan
I don't
yan.
have idea, Mr. Chair.
You don't have an idea because you were still looking for him officially.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because officially, you have not arrested or caught him, or he is not one of the 6 that were eliminated in the Dumoy factory.
Yes,
correct?
Mr. Chair.
So technically, the investigation as far as Alan C was concerned was continuing.
Yes,
Para
Mr.
sa'yo.
Chair. He was even included in the case that we filed in court. He and Johnson Chua, Mr. Chair.
Sir, in the 3 months that you conducted this surveillance on Alan C and several other key personalities of this Dumoy raid, no? parang, would you say that it was extensive ang pag-surveil ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you say that it was parang covered all bases po para sigurado kayong okay yung investigation ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Although konti lang talaga ang personnel ng PIDEA Regional Office 11, nagpatulong talaga kami sa police, particularly sa PACER, at kasama naman namin, sir, yung isang team ng EDSOT under Colonel Asierto. So talagang nag-divide kami ng personalities, Mr. Chair, para tutukan talaga. Mr. Chair, just to emphasize, meron pa nga one of the, kasi every 6 o'clock in the morning ang palitan namin ng surveillance team on each and every persons of interest. There was a time na 5:30 galing sa Dumoy, 5:30 ng umaga, umalis, sir, yung isang incheck. So sinundan ng mga tao natin, dumiretso, sir, sa Cagayan de Oro. So wala na magawa yung tao natin, but dumiretso rin sa Cagayan de Oro.
To tail him.
Yeah, to tail him kasi baka mawala eh.
So ganun ka-extensive yung
Yes,
investigation
Mr. Chair.
ninyo. Now, question. If ganun ka-extensive yung investigation ninyo, bakit hindi nyo in-include sa investigation ninyo si Michael Yang? When you already knew at that time that Alan C. had a business with Michael Yang.
Mr. Chair, kasi nga, walang Michael Yang na lumalabas dun sa initial investigation, sa initial intelligence namin, Mr. Chair.
I get that, sir. You already testified to that before. Ang question ko lang kasi, sinundan nyo siya sa Bunawan kasi may foam factory siya doon. Bakit hindi nyo siya sinundan sa DCLA? May business din siya doon eh. And Jed C. testified that Alan C. had several meetings with Michael Yang.
Mr. Chair, hindi naman lahat ng tao, although maraming tao talaga kaming kinonsider, hindi naman lahat ng tao, tututukan natin. Ang dealing with Michael Yang during that time, as stated by Jed Pilapil, is that magkatabi sila ng si Michael Yang ang may-ari ng commercial building kung saan doon nagbebenta ng foam sila Jed Pilapil. Yes, Mr. Chair. So hindi naman lahat dapat nating puntahan since Michael Yang is not included in the investigation. So sayang yung tao namin na idadala kay Michael Yang kesa sa ipa-follow up namin yung ibang personalities.
I'm asking that, sir. Kaya nga, tinanong kita kanina kung how extensive was the surveillance. Sabi niyo extensive. In fact, sinundan niyo pa to Cagayan de Oro. I mean, the fact that you send someone to Cagayan de Oro to tail a person and not question someone within the city, parang doon ako patungo, sir. I hope you understand,
Yes,
no?
yes, Mr.
So why not? Why wasn't there an investigation on Michael
Hindi
Yang?
kasi kilala si Michael Yang during that time, Mr. Chair. Hindi kilala talaga si Michael Yang
Hindi kilala
during
in the
that time.
sense na connected to drugs or something like that.
Anything.
Or connected to illegal activities.
Anything,
nothing like
Mr.
that.
Chair. Wala talaga. Hindi talaga kilala. Kasi kung kilala siya, Mr. Chair, talagang inoperate
Sisilipin niyo rin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Okay. How about yung Bunawan? Was it connected to any illegal activities? The foam factory?
Michael Yang, Mr. Chair?
No, Alan C.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But you only found out about the scrubbers after you raided it, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But prior to that, was
Alam
there
namin na foam factory niya yon, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. Kasi nga, nagbebenta siya ng...
Kaya, if you will let me finish ba, prior to the raid, was there any illegal activity going on in the foam factory?
Nag-prioritize kami, Mr. Chair, kasi during that time...
yes or no lang, sir?
Yes, kasi yung gusto ko lang makita ng committee, yung point of thinking ko during that time.
Sige.
Marami na kaming areas of interest. Pero, nakunan kasi namin ng actual video, Mr. Chair, yung Dumoy Laboratory na talaga nagmamanufacture doon.
Right.
So, stop muna kami sa iba, doon kami nag-prioritize, Mr. Chair, sa Dumoy Laboratory.
Dumoy. Yeah, ang tanong ko po is bakit nyo in-include ang foam factory kung sa tingin nyo wala naman kayong illegal activities na nakita prior to the raid?
Na andun, sir, namin nakita si Alex Kim.
Si Alex Kim.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yun yung chief chemist nung laboratory.
Okay, so you're saying that what triggered your interest in the Bunawan Foam Factory was the presence of Alex Kim.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So without the presence of Alex Kim, you would not have dug
Pinabayaan
deeper
namin
into
yun,
the
sir.
Bunawan Foam Factory.
Yes,
Tama
Mr.
po ba?
Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, last na lang, no? Ito lang, ang question ko lang is, itong kay Alan C., no? If he was the key figure in this Dumoy raid, but parang it stopped after the Dumoy raid? Parang you don't hear of Alan C. after that, eh. You know, even if you said that there was a manhunt that was conducted, parang nawala, eh. No? I mean, tama po ba? No,
Yes. We filed a case against them, Johnson Chua and Alan C. Pero wala nga dun sa area eh. So we believe na, sandali, nakatakas na to. But still, ginagamit pa rin namin yung intelligence community to look for him, Mr. Chair.
My point kasi, sir, is in a form of manifestation. It's like, if Alan C. was a key figure in this Dumoy raid, and that Dumoy raid was very significant because it's the first in Davao, eh, na ganun kalaki na Shabu Factory, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ako, sa tingin ko, there should have been more noise in looking for this guy, eh. Kasi central figure siya, eh, sa nangyari sa Dumoy, eh. So, the fact na parang biglang nawala din yung interest on Alan C. O after it, parang it raises some questions, no? Na is there truth to the insinuation or the allegations of some other people that Alan C. and et al. Were actually killed after the operations in Dumoy? Kaya parang wala nang naririnig about them after the Dumoy raid.
I have no idea about that, Mr. Chair.
So any comment on that manifestation?
We exerted effort, Mr. Chair, to look for them. Kaya lang yun nga, regional director lang ako ng Region 11 eh. And most probably, whole Philippines na yung gagalawan niya eh. So really,
to get away from you.
Yes, kasama nga namin si Colonel Acherto, Mr. Chair eh. And the EDSOT is the key team for the Philippine National Police. Kaya nga sabi namin na kung may maitutulong, di sa PNP na natin. Kasi limited talagang ang tao namin sa PDEA, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, DG Villanueva. To the current PDEA, sir, do you have any idea what happened to Alan C. after the Dumoy raid?
We do not have information regarding Alan C. Sir.
So do you have information on what PDEA Region 11 did to look for Alan C. after the Dumoy raid? Walang mga reports ba na...
As we have said, sir, we have only the spot report and we have the, again, sir, I'm standing corrected. We have the Blatter report on January
Yun lang.
of 2004 and 2005.
So that's the only file that you have as far as the Dumoy raid is concerned?
That is what we have only, sir.
Okay, how about the other agencies that were involved in that raid? Did they furnish PDEA with a copy of their own respective reports?
Only the PNP, sir, has reported to us. Only the Region 11 PDEA reported to the National Headquarters, sir.